from beads that clacked to bangs that bounced. These weren't just hairstyles, they were memories, culture, and magic. If you rocked even one of these, this video is for you. 13 hairstyles Black girls rocked in the 80s and 90s. Subscribe for more throwback gems just like this. Beaded braids with colorful barrettes. Every black girl growing up in the 80s or 90s remembers the satisfying clack-clack of beads bouncing with every step. Beaded braids weren't just a hairstyle, they were a cultural statement, a rhythm, and sometimes even a musical instrument. These braids were neat, parted with precision by moms or aunties who had hands blessed with patience and talent. Rows of cornrows or box braids would cascade into a waterfall of vibrant beads at the ends, red, clear, pink, purple, each click a sign of care and love. And let's not forget those iconic snap-on barrettes that could hold back a hurricane. Sitting between legs on the living room floor, knees aching but heart proud, this style was more than beautiful. It was bonding. It was Sunday night prep for the week ahead, and when you walked into school Monday morning, you knew those beads were shining and swinging for all to see. It taught little black girls early that their hair was art, expression, and heritage. Even now, the sound of beads brings back memories of childhood joy, community, and pride. High ponytails with big bows. The higher the ponytail, the closer to stylish perfection, especially when it was wrapped with an oversized bow that screamed girl power. Black girls in the 80s and 90s wore high ponytails like crowns, often slicked with gel until every strand obeyed. Some used banana clips for extra lift. Others had scrunchies or satin ribbons in every color. But no matter how it was done, the effect was bold and cute all at once. These ponytails bounced with energy, whether you were jumping rope or showing off at the skating rink. For school picture day, a high ponytail and a matching bow were a must. It was playful, polished, and photogenic. Moms would often top it off with edge control and a spritz of hairspray for that final touch. This hairstyle captured the innocence and confidence of growing up black. It was fun, youthful, and made every girl feel like she was walking her own runway, even if it was just the school hallway. Afro puffs. Afro puffs weren't just a hairstyle, they were a declaration. Two perfect puffballs perched on either side of the head made every black girl feel like royalty. Whether they were teeny and tight or fluffy and bold, they radiated confidence. The process was simple but sacred. Parted hair, detangled with care, slicked back with gel or grease, and secured with tight elastics. What followed were those round, bouncy clouds of natural beauty. And if you had a little ribbon or matching scrunchies, you were unstoppable. Afro puffs let young girls embrace their texture unapologetically. No heat, no straightening, just curls and coils doing their thing. It was a style that felt free, a celebration of what grew naturally from their scalps. Teachers might have called them Mickey Mouse ears, but we knew better. They were magic. Even songs were made about them. And when little girls rocked them on picture day or to church, they lit up rooms. Afro puffs weren't a trend. They were a cultural embrace, and still are. Finger waves, elegant, sleek, mature. That's what finger waves were to black girls trying to channel grown woman glam in the 90s. This style was pure sculpted perfection, each wave laying flat like ocean ripples, defined and glossy. Whether it was for prom, graduation, or just Friday night out, finger waves meant business. Stylists used setting lotion, a rat-tail comb, and serious skill to sculpt each curve by hand. Once dried under the hood dryer, the look was sharp, sophisticated, and timeless. Finger waves made girls feel elevated. It wasn't an everyday style. It was a moment, a transformation. You sat still for hours and came out looking like a 90s icon. Even moms and aunties respected the wave game. If you walked in the room with a crisp wave set, you got compliments from everybody. It said you were poised, polished, and had your hair life together. To this day, finger waves are still a go-to for formal events and throwback vibes. They're black beauty at its finest. Box braids with bob length. Box braids are forever iconic, but in the 90s, the bob length version was everything. Inspired by stars like Janet Jackson and Brandy, this style blended utility and flair with a bold, symmetrical edge. These braids were parted in clean squares, hence the name box, and stopped right around the chin or shoulders. They framed the face beautifully, often adorned with gold cuffs or colorful beads at the ends. Sometimes, one side was longer than the other, a little asymmetry that turned heads. The bob length made it easier to manage and lighter to wear than super long braids. You could flip them, shake them, and still sleep comfortably. And the way they swayed when you walked? Powerful. Getting them done took time. Hours in a salon chair or your cousin's kitchen, but it was worth every second. When it was done, the look was fierce and fashionable. This style gave black girls a protective hairstyle that still let them shine with individuality. It was the kind of braid that said, "Yes, I came to slay, press and curl." If you heard the sizzle of a hot comb on a Saturday night, you already knew what time it was. Sunday church hair. The press and curl was the go-to hairstyle for black girls when it was time to look extra polished. Done most often in the kitchen or bathroom, this style involved a hot comb heated on the stove, some Blue Magic or Royal Crown hair grease, and a whole lot of trust. Moms or grandmas would section the hair and slowly press each strand straight before curling the ends under with a curling iron or rollers. The result? Smooth, shiny hair with a gentle bounce, like magic. It wasn't always pain-free, though. That hot comb got close to the scalp and ears. If you flinched, you got the look. Still, enduring the process was a rite of passage. The smell of burning grease and the satisfaction of seeing that silky outcome meant you were ready for anything. Church, school, photos, or Easter brunch. It was elegance, tradition, and a labor of love. For many, it was their first experience with straightened hair, temporarily leaving behind curls but never their culture. Micro braids, tiny but mighty, micro braids were a symbol of patience, precision, and style. These ultra-thin braids took hours to install, sometimes up to 10 plus. But once they were done, the look was everything. They allowed for a lot of movement and versatility. You could part them anyway, wear them in a bun, a ponytail, or let them cascade down your back. Girls who rocked microbraids knew they had style and stamina, because sitting that long required both. Often adorned with beads or shells on the ends, these braids were a favorite for formal events or just everyday slay. And while they looked light, the install was no joke. Whether done by a pro or your auntie, it took dedication. Black girls wore micro braids as a way to express individuality. Some had highlights braided in, others curled the ends. And when Brandy made them mainstream, game over. They were neat, classy, and long-lasting, making them a top-tier protective style of the era. The wrap. The 90s ushered in the era of the silk wrap. After a good relaxer and roller set, the hair would be brushed flat around the head and secured with pins or a scarf. The next morning, laid and flowing, black girls and women alike swore by the wrap. It preserved body, shine, and movement without heat damage. At school, girls would unwrap their hair in the bathroom mirror and reveal sleek, bouncy results. It was the ultimate "I got my hair done" moment. This style marked a shift to more natural-looking straight hair. It wasn't stiff or overstyled. It moved, flipped, and flowed. Perfect for school dances, picture day, or just flexing in homeroom. It was also economical. If you learned how to maintain it, your style could last a week or more. That scarf at night? Mandatory. The rap taught black girls about maintenance, care, and self-pride. It was part routine, part ritual, and all beauty. Crimped hair. Crimping was everything in the late 80s and early 90s. Using a special iron that made ridges instead of curls, black girls could transform their hair into a wavy, voluminous masterpiece. The crimped look had texture, flair, and a playful vibe. Whether done on relaxed hair or added to braids that turned heads, celebrities rocked it in music videos and girls brought it to school like runway models. It wasn't always an everyday style, but when it showed up, it showed out. Some girls crimped all their hair, others did select sections or layered it with curls. It had a cool, slightly rebellious vibe, less polished, more fun. Crimping was about switching it up. One week you had a wrap, the next you came to class with zigzag waves. That unpredictability was part of the charm. It was creative expression, 90s fashion, and do-it-yourself spirit all wrapped into one. The pineapple updo. The pineapple was an iconic high updo worn by many black girls for special occasions or just everyday cool. All the hair was pulled up to the top of the head and arranged in cascading curls or twists, often secured with bobby pins or a fancy scrunchie. This look was elegant and elevated, literally. It showed off facial features and earrings and gave an instant sense of poise. Some versions included swirled baby hairs and decorative accessories. Worn to church, weddings, proms, or picture day, the pineapple updo was versatile and timeless. Moms loved doing it, stylists perfected it, and girls adored how it made them feel. It was one of those grown-up styles that made you feel special. When you rocked a pineapple, you stood a little taller. The pressed bang and ponytail combo. This hairstyle was a go-to look for black girls who wanted a little drama with their sleekness. The hair would be pressed bone straight, then pulled into a ponytail, but the bang was the star. Whether curled under into a swoop or bumped high into a cascade, it framed the face like a curtain of confidence. You'd see this combo at school, dances, church events, or just an average Friday at school if someone had hit the salon the night before. A lot of girls loved pairing it with gold hoops and lip gloss because this look gave grown but still cute. It was versatile, too. You could rock it with your ponytail curled, braided, or even gelled into a faux bun. But the bang had to be right. A stiff bang? No, ma'am. A soft, layered swoop? Perfection. This was the hairstyle that made girls feel like mini superstars. It said, "I came to be seen." The side ponytail. If your ponytail was centered, you were playing it safe. But if it was off to the side, you were bold, fun, and ahead of the curve. The side ponytail was playful yet stylish, a favorite among black girls during the late 80s and into the early 90s. Sometimes high up on the side, sometimes low near the shoulder. It gave that asymmetric vibe everyone loved. It looked especially cute with braids, twists, or crimped styles. Add a ribbon or a big scrunchie, and you were the definition of cool. This was a favorite for school events, birthdays, or just expressing personality. Girls would flip their ponytails like a statement. It was sassy but sweet. It wasn't a style adults often wore, so rocking a side ponytail felt like a kid's crown. It was youthful, confident, and totally unforgettable. Jumbo twists with beads or shells. Jumbo twists gave you that perfect mix of low maintenance and high style. Whether done with Kanekalon hair or your natural strands, these big, chunky twists were quick to install and easy to manage, but still made a bold impact. Black girls wore them long and full, often decorated with colorful beads or cowrie shells at the ends. It was a look that screamed personality. You could part them down the middle, pull them into a bun, or let them hang free with a stylish swing. This style was protective but powerful. It kept hair healthy while allowing for flair, which is why moms loved it too. Some girls added color, burgundy or auburn, to make it even more eye-catching. Twists were also DIY friendly, which meant sleepovers or cousin nights often turned into impromptu salon sessions. Laughter, music, and hair grease filled the room while twists came to life. This style felt alive. It moved, bounced, and always got compliments.